All right. So I get a lot of questions about how I paint eyes. It's probably one of the hardest, tedious parts of a painting app when doing a face. So what I wanted to point out on paper is how I go about doing this. And I'll talk about also the tools that I use and how to achieve that realistic look. So here we have an eye that I've drawn. Excuse my crappy drawing, but anyways, basically what you want to do, and most figures you can do this with, is you want to start out with centering the eyes. So what you're going to do is take a COPIC multi-liner pen. This is a 0.1 version. You can use probably a little bit smaller if you really wanted to, a 0.03. And what this does is instead of using a brush, basically you can just take this and basically draw in the black area around the eye. So that's what we're going to start off with first. I normally will do basically take that multi-liner pen and I will draw in that area that is normally color. So all this is going to be black. So let's see, start out black. And then what we're going to do is once you fill in this area and get that shape in the eye, you're going to use your paintbrush, which is, I use a WINSOR Newton Series 7 000 paintbrush, detail brush. It's really small. As you can see, that little fine tip. Just use some magnifying glasses and you go in and you're going to pick the color of the eye. So like Obi-Wan, I believe, has blue eyes. So you're going to get the color of his eye. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your brush and you're going to just fill in that black area, except leaving a line. So you're going to fill this part up with color, with paint. So this color, this right here gets paint color, and you're going to leave a thin black line. And if you accidentally, paint over it, that's perfectly fine. You can actually go back in using your COPIC multi-liner pen and just, clean up that edge, that line. Basically give that color a nice black edge. It's going to make that eye look more realistic if you do that. So this is all going to be color once you get that done. So this gets filled with color, leaving this with black, like a black edge. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come in with a multi-liner pen, the same thing again, your 0.1, and you're going to dot the center of that eye. Multi-liner pen, 0.1. And that's going to give you a nice clean circle if you dot it with that pen. One of the things that people forget is adding the highlight to the eye. This is where you're going to give that eye that shine, that the overall realistic look. And what you're going to do to achieve that, and gets very tricky to do, is you're going to take your WINSOR Series 7 brush and you're going to dip white paint on the very tip. And when you go in, you're going to dot it right where the edge of that circle is and where the color is. So right here is where your white dot is going to go. White dot highlight. That will actually give you a realistic look. So the other thing I wanted to point out is when people do eyes, this part, the white part of the eye, is not white. You want to make it an off-white. You can actually mix white and a little bit of blue in there, and that'll offset it, or you can mix a little bit of red. But you don't want to make sure, you want to make sure that you don't go too pink, otherwise your eye is going to look bloodshot. You just want to basically offset it. So a color that I also sometimes use is ivory. It has a little bit of yellow in there. So just keep in mind that you don't want to go pure white in this area of the eye, because that will actually make the eyes, it's called pop out, and the eye is going to look like it's, you know, almost like kind of popping out. It'll look really weird. So you can use ivory or off-white for that area. Now this little dot right here, this is actually the little red part in the eye. I forgot what it's called. But you can actually get your WINSOR Series 7 000 brush or a fine tip brush, and you're gonna dip, you're gonna make this little dot not bright red, but a kind of a burgundy type color. That actually gives the eye a little bit more realism as well. So you could do burgundy in this little area right there. Another thing that people need to understand with eyes, right here where the muscle, the eyelid overlaps the eyeball, right in this area, you want to take a brush and you want to do a fine line, a dark, like a black line right up around that top edge. Simulate an effect where it looks like this is overlapping that eye. It'll give it more realism if you do that. So we just want to make sure that we're adding that black line around the edge. And this can be done before you even do any of the details. So like as far as steps go, I usually come in with my black line, like I'll paint the flesh, and then I'll come in with my black line, and then I'll fill in this area with the off-white, and then I'll go in and start doing the details of the eye. The bottom part of the eye, you can go like a darker skin tone right in this area. I'll color this in. Just do a darker skin tone right here. So right up underneath that lid. So I'm not going to get too far in details of the flesh around the eye. I just want to basically show you that painting the detail in the eye isn't as hard as people think. It just takes a little bit of patience, and you need to actually have magnifying glasses to do this, because it's really, really tiny on a 1/12 scale head. So anyways, I hope this helps you out as far as creating that realistic look on your action figures, and I look forward to seeing some next level paint apps. Awesome. All right, thanks.